Hello, hello, hello. Hello, my YouTube fam, my co-workers. Welcome, welcome. You guys, this morning I did like a live and I want you guys to see it. Because a lot of time when I do live, y'all don't come over to the channel and check it out. But I wanted you to see this live because this live is so important. It's so necessary. And I want you guys to understand who you working with, who you are working with beside you, who are you telling your personal stuff with, who are you talking on the phone with, who are you going out with, who family you are going out meeting or bringing to your family. Y'all need to see this. And please look at it to its entirety because it is a lesson that I learned the hard way. And you guys, I want y'all to learn this lesson and not fall victim like I did. So let's get into this live. Yes, yes, yes. It is very rough. Very rough. And I'm going to tell you about my channel because I am a nursing assistant. So that is the core of my channel. But I also have tons of other content on there. And on my channel, y'all, I tell it like it is. I don't sugarcoat nothing because you guys on the outside, if you don't work in healthcare, you just don't know what goes on in the back door. It is so much that goes on that you guys don't know and you guys need to know. You need to know because you're going to have a love, unfortunately, at one point or another, you're going to need help care. People in your family going to need help care. And it's just good to know certain stuff. It's just good to know certain aspects so you know how to maneuver or just simply fact, you know what's going on. You know why this is like this. You know why they doing this like this or what have you. So it's just good to be educated about the situation. So it's something for everybody, even if you're not a nursing assistant. It's educational, informative, and stuff that you may need to know, you know, to keep you on game, know what's going on. Because, baby, it's a dog-to-dog world. You have to advocate for yourself. Have to. Welcome, Sean. How are you? Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. Please double tap, tap for me. And if you're not a member, we'll be so happy for you to join our family. I call my family co-workers. Y'all my co-workers. You know, the good co-workers, not them old skank co-workers. You know, I got a video about them old skanky co-workers. Y'all the good ones. Y'all the trustworthy co-workers, not them old janky kind. If you know what I mean. Anybody that had a job know about these janky co-workers. Y'all already know. Yes, y'all already know about these old Yankee co-workers. They grin, they laugh in your face, and they stab you behind your back. Them co-workers, I'm telling y'all, co-workers, they do not have your best interest at heart. I'm telling you, I don't care how much you laugh with them, how much you went out with them, how much. Keep your business to yourself because what you tell them will be all over the building or they'll use it against you. I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. Let me tell y'all this story. True story. I was working at this place. I'm not going to even enclose the name. I was working at this place, and the way the place was set up, you work in-house for a month, then you be in the field for the month. And what we call the field, that is actually when you go to patient house. You're not working in the building. You have to go to the patient house and check up on them. Okay. So I was in the field. We used to do a month in and a month out. We got a new supervisor, an in-house supervisor, because we had a supervisor for the field, and we also had a supervisor for in-house. So, like I said, we do a month in the field, a month in the building, correct? So for some reason, I was in the field for at least 6 months. And I didn't understand that, but I didn't say nothing because we love the field. We like the field better than the inside because you got that freedom. You don't have to be in the building, stuffed up in the building. So I didn't say nothing, but I was just wondering. So when I finally got in, when they finally pulled me in the facility to work, we had a new supervisor. I did not know this supervisor, had never seen this supervisor, didn't know her name, didn't know anything about this young lady. For some reason, from day one, she hated my guts. She hated me, and I found out later, she was the one that had kept me out in the field. She kept telling the field supervisor, keep her out there, don't bring her in. That's why I was out there so long. But long story short, when I came in, she gave me HELL. If y'all ever worked under a supervisor that didn't like you, it's not good, y'all. It makes you hate your job. I used to love my job. I had been there at that point working there for about 7 years. I loved it, my job. I enjoyed going to work. I enjoyed interacting with my participant. We didn't call them patient, we call them participant. I really enjoyed my job. This lady came and she treated me horribly. I couldn't understand why. I never seen her, didn't know nothing about her, didn't do anything. Everything I did, she reported me. Everything I did, she reported me. Everything. I couldn't do nothing. I couldn't do nothing. We even got in an argument. I was going to lunch. She kept up with my time when I went to lunch. We only had 30 minutes, okay? So on my way to lunch, we also had a clinic inside this facility, right? So on my way to lunch, a nurse came out. Hey, I need some help with this patient. Could you come in? So I went in and helped the patient. So that threw me not going to lunch right on time, correct? So after I finished with that patient, helping the nurse, I went to lunch. How about this supervisor came and found me and said, look, you've been on lunch, It's time for you to come back or you're going to be rolled up. That's what she told me. So I'm looking like, and this is how she talked to me, pointing her hand, doing all this here. And she closed the door. And I sat there. I didn't get up and I didn't go. I didn't check in because I knew I had maybe 10, 15 minutes left. So I finished out my lunch. So I went to her and I let her know, no, I was not over my lunch. I say on my way to lunch, such as this nurse asked me to help her with a patient. I went in to help her with a patient. So when I left the area, I was not officially on my lunch break. When I got finished with her, that's when I went on my lunch break. So she said, well, why you didn't come back and tell me? You should have came back and told me that. And so I told her, which I did, because I knew she was on me. I knew I had to dot every I and cross every T. I knew this. So I did actually go back where she was when I left. I could not find her to let her know. So what I did, I told her boss, because she got a boss in the I went and told her boss, say, hey, I just got through with da-da-da-da-da, so I'm just going to lunch. So when I told her I couldn't find her, but I did find, her name was Pam, I'm going to say Pam. I did find Pam, and I let her know. She said, that's unacceptable. You tell me, not Pam. Yes. So I didn't say that, and we kind of went back and forth, because I knew I was right, you know what I'm saying? We kind of went back and forth, and I just stopped and just turned around and went and talked to, she's not the administrator, but she is like the supervisor, over the home health, the field, and inside. She kind of manned both of them. So I went and talked to her because I felt like she was going to go in there and say something. Because like I said, this lady had been reporting some on me every day. Guys, it got worse. Because everybody have a breaking point. I don't care how nice you is or how you try to go by the protocol. Everybody have a breaking point. And this continued for months. For months, guys. For months. So I tried to go through my chain of command. I talked to her boss. When I talked to her boss talked to her, it got worse. Then I went and talked to her boss about it. Still didn't do any good. Then I went to the administrator. I don't think I went to human resource. I went to, I talked to every person that I possibly could. The last person I talked to was the administrator. And my request to the administrator was, this lady constantly bullying me. She constantly singling me out. I use key words that companies don't like because you can get sued. I said, I don't know why she don't like me. It's been like this from day one, ever since she came to work. I don't know her. I don't know her family. Never seen her before. I said, but she constantly is on me. I can't do nothing. She micromanaged me. She report me every day about something. I said, I want to fix it. That's how I went in there. I said, I want to fix it. I said, but I can't fix it if I don't know what I'm doing wrong. If you could you arrange a meeting with us so we can discuss? She can let me know what I'm doing wrong so I can fix it. I put it all on me. So the administrator said, okay, we'll do that. The meeting never did come up. Never did. I'm waiting. 2 weeks. Nobody said nothing. I went to human resource because she was in there as a witness when I was talking to the administrator. I said, hey, you guys, have y'all, scheduled a meeting or anything? excuse me, or anything. She said, no, I hadn't heard anything. I don't know why, she hadn't scheduled a meeting yet or whatever. So I went to the administrator and asked, say, hey, and what she said was she refused to meet with me. The supervisor refused to meet with me. And I'm like, what? I said, she refused to meet with me. How do she even have a choice not to meet with me? I said, don't that tell y'all something? Don't that tell y'all something that she refused to meet with me to let me know what I'm doing wrong because she report me every day and she refused the meeting? Can't y'all see something is wrong with that? Then the administrator told me, she said she would meet with you, but only if she meet with me and her. She didn't want nobody else around. And see, my request was me, her, the administrator, and human resource. Because I wanted witness in there. I didn't want to meet with her, just me and her. Because guess what? They going to take the supervisor word over mine. I don't know why they feel like supervisors don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, when they just people just like me, you, or anybody else. So I wanted a witness. So she didn't want no witness, okay? So I'm like, okay, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So what I had to end up doing, I had to write a letter. Yes, write a letter to corporate. I wrote a nice letter to corporate. I put down everything what this lady did. Not everything, because it was too much. I let them know that I did my chain of command all the way up to the administrator, and nothing was done. I was ignored, and nothing was done. And this had been going on for months. For months. One time, I got so upset with her, I wanted to fight her. They had to calm me down because at that point I was tired and I was through with it. I didn't care whether I lose that job. I didn't care about nothing. I said, this is it. I'm finna whoop her. Yes. So once I got in touch with the administrator, they did something about it. They came down to the facility. They investigated. They observed. I did not know they was there. They came down for a Christmas. We had a Christmas party. They came to the Christmas party. And I was walking. She caught me by myself. And she called my name. And I turned around. I said, yeah. And she came up and she kind of whispered to me. She said, hey, I got your letter. And I said, oh, okay. And she said, she pulled me in a room by herself and we sat down and we talked. I told her what was going on. I said, I don't know whether she trying to get me fired or want me to quit. I don't know. She told me, don't even worry about it. She said, don't worry about your job. You got your job. Don't even worry about it. So what happened was, after that party, maybe a week later, my administrator pulled me in the office. She pulled me in the office and she said, this was her word. Yeah, we know you wrote corporate. And I say, oh, okay. It was nothing I was trying to hide. Because I also sent her a letter. I sent them a letter through the mail. I did not hand it to her. I sent it to them in the mail. But what I did do, I sent the one that I sent to corporate, I sent that certified. So they had to sign for it. So I knew when they got it. So once I knew that they had it, and I waited a couple of days, then I sent theirs. Because I didn't want to give them heads up to get their story together to make up a lie. And so I said, okay. I said, y'all got one. And then she said, well, yeah, you sent them a letter, and then you sent us a letter. She gave the date. She said, you sent us a letter. She gave the date or whatever. And I sat there. I said, I don't know exactly what date I sent y'all the letter. I said, but I do know I sent corporate theirs first. I sent corporate letter first, and then I sent you guys a letter. I said, because I have dealt with this lady over and over again. I have went through my chain of command, and nobody seems to do anything about it. And I can't keep coming to work under these kind of situations. And I said, I like my job. I love my job. I love my patient. I don't know why I have to leave because of somebody else's behavior, and I'm not doing anything wrong. I say, so yes, I had to go wherever I thought someone would help me. I say, because apparently nobody in this building could rectify the situation. So she said, okay, I done talked to her. Let me know if she say anything to you out of the place and blah, 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 blah. So what happened with that situation, what happened was she stopped communicating with me at all. She didn't tell me what to do. She didn't give me no assignment. She didn't say nothing to me, which was fine. I didn't care. Because I had been there so long, I knew everything to do anyway. I knew my job inside and out. So it didn't matter that she didn't say anything to me. But the kicker, let's bring this story back. Let's bring this story back. When I tell you your coworker is your coworker, let me tell you the reason why I say your coworker is your coworker. The supervisor that they hired was actually friend with a coworker. They graduated high school together. So this coworker, which I thought was my friend, which we done went out together. She'd have been over my house. We talked on the phone together. We walked together, do exercise together twice a week. She have gone to church with me, met my family, met my dance friend. I do line dancing. She done went to an event with me doing line dancing. All of this. But guess what? She was the one that was feeding the supervisor. Before she even came on, she was telling her about me. She told her that I do what I want at that place. The supervisor like me, and I do this, I do that. I do whatever I want. She was jealous of me while she was in my face. While she was in my face, she was telling the supervisor about me. So the supervisor already had this pre-existent notification how I was. She not only did it to the supervisor, she did it to a new worker. And once me and the new worker started talking and she found that I really wasn't like that, I'm cool, she said, I knew you before I even started the job. Say, she told me everything about you. She said, you did what you wanted to do and you didn't follow no rule. You and the supervisor was real good friend and they let you do this. She said, I knew you before I even worked here. So when they said your name, I already kind of knew about you by what she told me. She said, but I'm a type of person, yeah, I took in that information, but I find out stuff myself. I wasn't going to treat you no different. I wasn't going to treat you bad or nothing like that until I find out for myself how you was. So this young lady was feeding that supervisor, even though the supervisor was wrong. Even though she fed her that, she shouldn't have acted on it until she saw whatever she told her herself. So that's why I tell you, do not trust your coworkers. I'm telling you, y'all, I have experienced it. They would use it against you. They would laugh, talk in your face, and the bottom line, they may be jealous of you for some reason, or just low down. Just simply low down. So, y'all, I'm coming from experience. Go to work, do your job, be friendly to everybody. I'm not saying be stuck up. No, talk, be friendly, we'll cordial with to everybody. But do not get in no clique. You there to do your work and get your check. And do not tell no personal stuff. Every now and then you may be able to find a true friend on your job. Like I said, it's exception to every rule. So it's not 100. It may be 99.9. And that 1%, you may be able to find a good, trusted, true friend on your workplace. But baby, more than likely, they're not your friend. More than likely, you turn your back, they stabbing you in your back. The whole time, this lady was telling this supervisor negative stuff about me to get her to feel that way about me. But that's okay. Guess what happened? She got fired. She got fired, yes. But after that, the workplace for me, it never was the same for me. It never was the same because I loved working there and I felt like the supervisors there generally was fair, generally cared about their worker and all of that. And that experience hardened me, and it proved to me when you work for somebody, they don't care about you. They just care about what you do. They just care about what you can do for them. But the bottom line, they don't care about you. So it kind of changed my whole perspective of where I was working because I felt like there was a place that I had never worked at like that. Everybody was so loving and caring, but that wasn't the case. All that was a front. So after that happened, I just could not get into my job again, and I ended up resigning from that position at some point. Maybe about, I'm gonna say probably about 2 years after that, 2.5 years or something like that, I ended up resigning. So yeah, take notes, y'all. Co-workers, that's what they are. They're not your friend. I hope y'all enjoyed that little story because, I mean, it's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned. And I'll talk to y'all guys later. Bye.